when I started my fine arts course, I didn't even have the basics clear of handling a brush or a paint. I asked my dad to draw something for me, and he said, I won't do it every time, you have to do it yourself.
Commerce was not for you,
Yeah.
and that you should probably go into art.
They saw me struggling with it. They saw I was not interested. Half of the time, I never used to attend the classes.
Finance is actually very simple. There's not much. You have to just go draw and paint.
And most of them were villagers, coming from small towns, and they had those wrinkles, which used to be they used to choose such models that difficult to draw. We used to struggle if the model has changed her sari. So, Auntie, why did you change your sari? We started coloring your sari. It is not an easy job. You have to go through 15-hour exams. So by 15-hour, I means we complete 5 hours of exam today. The next day we work on the same sheet. The third day we work on the same sheet. So every exam used to be of at least 10 to 15 hours.
Hello everyone, welcome to JCL Podcast Season 2 Bindas Bowl. Today we have a very special guest, Neha from the marketing team, and we will be speaking about creativity and the different channels that interest her. So Neha, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for a warm welcome, Roshni.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do in Geomart and how long you've been with Geomart.
I have been a part of Geomart since last 3 years. I work as a creative designer here.
I know that for each person, creativity means different things and each person has their own definition. So tell us, what is Neha's definition of creativity?
To me, creativity is all about baking and painting because I have always been a creative person. Since childhood, I was always kind of attracted to colors, and my canvas used to have a lot of colors. I used to paint, I used to draw since childhood. So for me, it's baking and painting both.
Okay. Do you also have other interests like music, or has it always been with color and experimenting with, say, baking?
So I think for me, it's all about colors. I was always limited to painting and baking. And I think that is the reason I chose fine arts as my bachelor's, as a course of my bachelor's. And throughout my school, I was always working on creative projects, being a vice captain in school. I used to design those huge boards. So I think it came from there. And also I saw because my dad also being a creative person, I think that was something which inspired me when I was a kid. And I remember when I used to get homeworks and I had to draw something and I wasn't confident, I used to go to him and he used to draw it for me. So I think it is somewhere in the blood as well. So I think that is where it came from, that I started painting, and eventually though I was a commerce student, but my parents saw that I had no interest in commerce and I was just doing it for the sake. So that's when they asked me to do bachelor's in fine arts during my graduation, and I took up the course. So I think that's how it came from.
Okay. My next question was going to be that
Okay.
How did it all begin, and who was your inspiration probably? I'm sure, though there may have been multiple instances that inspired you to, start trying to paint or bake. Do you remember any particular incident where, you thought, okay, I'd like to give this a shot, whether it was painting or baking? Any particular incident or...
So yeah, I remember there was this incident where I asked my dad to draw something for me, and he said, I won't do it every time, you have to do it yourself. I wasn't confident that time, I can do it. And the way he used to replicate the design or anything in my notebooks, I was like, no, I want you to do it. And
this was in school?
This was in school. So he asked me that you have to do it yourself. I can't be doing it every time. And I think that actually led me to doing it on my own.
Okay.
And baking was something I took up because I used to see my sisters, my family, they used to bake. And since I come from a family where they love to eat and explore food and also make people eat, I think that's when it came from, where it came from. I remember I was in 7th standard that was the first time I baked for my class teacher. And that was just because I saw my sister's cousins baking, and I used to be like, okay, I want to do this. So since then, there has been no stop. I have been baking almost every weekend now.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, I'm going to go back on to the part where we spoke about painting, and your dad would, draw for you or paint for you.
Yeah.
You also said that it's something that's in your blood.
Yeah.
So, has your family always been into painting or art? Is that what, you saw growing up and thought you should try to?
Yeah, I think it was always in the blood because I have always seen them. They were always in the art. I wouldn't say just limited to canvas, but because we have a business of textiles, like it's printing and manufacturing of bed sheets. So I think that's where it came from. And we had this family business. And I remember when I was a kid, my dad got me 2 bed sheets. And got them he'd got the line drawing done, and he asked me that, you have to paint it. He got me the colors, so I think I still have those.
Wow.
So I painted those bed sheets, and I think it's just because my family has that art. They are attracted towards art, and that's how it came from.
So you also spoke about how your parents and your family, the rest of your family, thought that commerce was not for you,
Yeah.
and that you should probably go into art.
Yeah.
What was your thought at that point? Did you always feel that you were not fit for, a commerce or let's say any other regular degree, and that you were always meant for doing something related to art?
Yeah, I think I felt that when I was in 7th or 8th standard. I remember I had decided I don't want to do commerce because my school didn't have an option of arts.
Okay.
My parents asked me that, you continue with commerce, who'll change the school at this point of time, because after 10th we had to choose the subjects. And I was inclined towards art, but again, the school changing was a headache for them, so I had to continue with commerce. But during that commerce, during taking up the commerce subject, they saw me struggling with it. They saw I was not interested because half of the time I never used to attend the classes. I used to be in my art room doing my all the work, whatever I liked. So I think that made them feel that, I should go for fine arts, and hence I pursued fine arts during my bachelor's.
It's actually quite interesting because you live in a country where a lot of parents expect you to do engineering or medicine and, continue in that line and have the career that most people have.
Yeah.
It's very interesting that your parents believed and thought that, fine arts would be a better fit for you. So I think a lot of people are under the impression that fine arts is actually very simple. There's not much. You have to just go draw and paint maybe, and you can chill without going to classes. And it's probably a course for, the ones who weren't interested or couldn't study hard or whatever. So enlighten us. Tell us about fine arts and, all that you had to do during your college.
So fine arts is not an easy subject. Let me tell you, it's not an easy subject. It's difficult because it's not just but drawing and painting. You have to put your ideas. You have to make sure that it shows the reality. Because I remember when I started my fine arts course, I didn't even have the basics clear of handling a brush or a paint. While my friends who were already there, they had a arts background. Because they did arts. They took up arts in 11th and 12th.
Okay.
So they had those basics clear, how to handle a pen or a brush or a pencil. But coming to me, I was very new. It was just the passion I was following. So it was very difficult. I remember there were times that, our creatives never used to get approved. And our teacher was very strict that he used to be like, shouldn't be any single pen mark or a color mark outside the sheet.
And each time it had to be an idea of your own. Like you had to think of something. And
yes. And also, they used to tear our sheets if there was any extra, because I remember when you kind of draw or paint, you tend to make kind of the outer part of the sheet, the boundary of the sheet dirty, or the paint marks, it spoils so he used to be like, the sheet should be spoiled, there should be proper margins on the canvas. So there are times that sheets used to get rejected, that okay, this is not up to the mark, you'll have to do it again. And it was difficult because we never used to work on the final sheet. We used to make rough layouts, 10, 15, 20, until the layouts were approved by our professors. That's when we used to come on the final sheet. So it used to take days or even a week to come to the final resemblance. For example, if there is a person, I used to be in a head study and portrait study. So I used to kind of draw humans and paint humans. So there was a model sitting in front of us, and we used to first start with the rough sketches on newspaper print. Once it used to get finalized by our professors, then he used to ask that you can work on the final sheet. until you get it approved, you're not coming to the final sheet.
Oh.
And we used to struggle if the model has changed her sari, and she used to be very old with wrinkles. It used to be very difficult to kind of draw those models. They were not very simple,
Right.
good looking
It
models.
would just be random people.
Random people, and most of them were villagers, like, you know, coming from small towns, and they had those wrinkles, which used to be very, they used to choose such models that difficult to draw. And they have the wrinkles and eyes, and the day used to, like, you know, she used to wear a different sari. We used to ask, auntie, why did you change your sari? We started coloring your sari. So yes, it was a difficult task, and it's a 4-year course.
Oh.
So basically, first year you kind of try everything: sculptures, painting, and applied art. Second year you have to choose between the three.
Okay.
The way we have in engineering, we have for all the fields. You learn first year is basically time to learn, and then second year you opt for the specialization.
Right.
So I think that's how it was something, I would say, very difficult for us, and it is not an easy job. You have to go through 15-hour exams. So by 15-hour, I means like we complete 5 hours of exam today. The next day we work on the same sheet. The third day we work on the same sheet. So every exam used to be of at least 10 to 15 hours.
So you were sitting constantly and continuously for 5 hours to work on your
on the exam sheet, and then we used to leave the sheet as it is in the class. Next day we used to come and work on the same sheet again, and third day again. So it used to be basically 15 hours of exam, and I mean, I would say it requires a lot of passion, patience to take up patience to take up the fine arts.
So how was I mean, when you went into fine arts and when you started you know, pursuing your course, did you get time to bake, or was that something that you had just parked as a hobby and waited for you to complete your course and then get back to it, or how did you do it?
I think I was doing both that during my graduation, because I was more inclined towards baking, and there were times that, you know, we were a group of friends, 6 friends, and we used to celebrate birthdays. We used to make handmade cards for each other, whoever's birthday it was. We used to give cards, and I used to take the responsibility of baking cakes, that, you know, I get the cake. And I think I pursued both baking and painting, but I was more inclined towards baking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though you spent 15 hours doing exams in fine arts, you still prefer baking. Interesting. So how did you go from being a fine arts student into marketing? I think, you are into creative designing right now, so it does make a bit of sense. But how did you get into marketing from?
So as I told you, our course was 4 years, and I chose applied art as my specialization. So applied art involves advertising, marketing, both. And it also involves designing brands, creating your own brands. So I wouldn't say it is just limited to painting or creating something. It had a lot of scope. And during my graduation, I was good at sculptures as well, but I was confused which one to go for, because people told me that applied art has a lot of scope. Sculptures doesn't have scope.
Right.
That you are working with the clay entirely, and has a lot of risk as well because of the weather conditions.
Okay.
So that actually led me to choose applied art, and applied art does have courses which include designing, basically graphic designing.
Okay.
So I did a course along with my graduation. I did a course from outside. I went to an institute.
Okay.
I learned Adobe softwares there, and that's how applied art led to creative designing.
And now you have come into marketing, creative designing and marketing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What makes you feel good about, you know, painting or baking, and what is motivating to you when you bake or paint? What do you get out of it? What do you feel?
So it's been few years I've not painted, but I remember last time I had painted for a friend, and that was a gift because it was a portrait.
Okay.
And post that I haven't painted, but now I'm constantly focused on baking.
Okay.
And what motivates me is trying new food, because I'm a foodie as well. So I like exploring food, exploring bakeries. So that's how that motivates me. And like, you know, I love feeding people that I'll bake for you. And that is also a form of bribery I use for people.
I think including us, right? Even we keep asking you to bake stuff for us.
So if someone tells me that, you know, what am I getting in return? I'm like, I'll bake for
brownies.
You. You're getting the brownies, you're getting the cakes. So what motivates me is, like, I see people who love to eat, and I'll bake for you. And and today when I see in the world that, you know, people are experimenting with food, a lot of varieties, a lot of options. So that also motivates me that, you know, I want to try something new. And if someone likes my baking, so I'm like, okay, I'll feed you more. So that sort of
Does it feel like an outlet of, all your pent up emotions or feelings? Does it feel like that for you?
Yeah.
You bake?
Yeah, it does. So it absolutely does. So there are times when I'm not in a good mood, I'm not feeling well. I'm like, I'll bake. And I don't care about the time, whether it's 2 a.m., 3 a.m., I'll bake. If I'm
Right.
awake, I'm not feeling good. Okay, baking is therapeutic for me. So it's an escape that, you know, if I'm not in a good mood, I want to probably do something and keep myself busy.
Right.
That's when I bake. And eventually, I think I'm baking most of the time. That it's even over the weekend. So yes.
Okay. So, do you recall any funny incident or, anything in particular related to your interests, either baking or painting, anything that, you recall from the top of your head?
So I can recollect during my first stint in Hyderabad, I made two friends. We were three close friends, and we used to have game nights, pizza nights. So they used to tell me that get your ingredients, baking ingredients, and we will bake, stupid thing. And post the pizza night and the gaming night, we used to, like, one of us used to play the instruments, and we used to jam and post that. At 4 a.m. in the morning, they used to ask me, bake a cake for us.
Oh, wow.
So that used to be our breakfast, I remember. And there were times that I wasn't, like, you know, in that zone. I want to sleep. No, wake up, bake a cake and then sleep.
And you still managed to.
Yes.
Wow.
So there were times we used to have at 4 a.m., 8 a.m. We used to bake early morning and used to have those cakes.
That's
And
really.
now what motivates me is when I go back home, since I'm working here away from family, and when I go back home in Jaipur, my niece, they're always excited to see me. So when I go there, they know something is gonna be big today.
Oh.
So the moment I land and they ask me, have you got us something? Are you planning to bake for us? So when I see those cute little faces waiting for me to bake, and then, you know, and I see them also baking now.
Okay.
One is in school, like she's
Okay.
hardly in 7th standard, and she loves to bake looking at me.
Wow.
Though she wouldn't touch the oven, but she would do that no bake desserts. So I
Right.
think that's how, I think that motivates me, seeing my family, even they love to eat what I bake. So once I go home, then there is baking almost every day.
So, let's say you have to choose between baking and painting. What would you choose?
I would go for baking any day.
Oh, so what do you bake the best? According to, according to what you think, not what people think, but what do you think you bake best?
I think I recently tried my hands on baklava, so that was the
Wow.
best I baked. And
Okay.
apart from that, I think brownies is something I really bake good.
Yeah, that I can vouch for that. I've tasted the brownies and the brownies are yummy.
So I think brownies, and I'm so experimental with food. So there are times I bake something and I wouldn't bake it again. Then after a few years, I'll recollect. Okay, I haven't baked this.
Okay.
So
You go back and try.
go back and try that.
Okay.
So I would pick brownies and cakes as something I bake good.
Okay.
Yeah, and yes, and not to forget the chocolate mousse-tart.
Okay. I guess it's very interesting to hear how baking can also feel like, an outlet of your emotions or feelings. It's really nice to know. What is next for Neha? Is Neha going to continue being a marketing professional for, however long, or is Neha going to pursue one of her interests?
So I think I'll probably relate the two. And as of now, being a creative designer, I am enjoying the job I have. And eventually I would want to get into baking, but I wouldn't leave creative designing, because
Okay.
what I have thought is when I start my bakery of my own or an outlet of a store of my own, and that time I would definitely make sure I design my own logos, I do my own marketing and branding. So because coming from a marketing background, I think I'll do
You can do both.
I'll do a good job there. So I think that way I'll probably take up both, probably more focused on baking, but I would never leave creative designing.
As someone who's so busy with your creative designing career and someone who has so many interests and so many things that you really like and enjoy doing, what does a typical day or a weekend for Neha look like?
So my weekdays are mostly spent working. That is pursuing my creative designing, my passion. Weekends are spent exploring restaurants, trying out new food, and then replicating the recipes at home. Apart from that, apart from the food and designing, I also love to go to concerts. For example, I recently attended a candlelight concert. It was a piano concert, and I think, yeah, most of the weekends are spent attending concerts, art workshops, exploring restaurants. I do join a lot of art workshops over the weekend,
Right.
and I would say that's a way of meeting new people and exploring something new which I haven't explored. For example, I recently did an art workshop for Raisin Art,
Oh,
and you meet people there, you connect with people, you see what they are doing in their life, you kind of get to know them. So I think that's a good way of spending weekends.
thank you so much, Neha. I think that brings us to the end of our podcast. Thank you so much for being on the podcast and for telling us so much about your life and what creativity is to you, and also for telling us about fine arts. I think that's an eye opener. A lot of people don't know what it's like. So, thank you so much once again for taking the time out and for being here with us.
Thank you so much, Roshni, for having me here. So, being a person who has always loved colors and